And let's get into it. Boop. Esper control. Here we go. I'm going to build it from the ground up. I'd really like to compare it to the Jeskai control deck. So I thought about building it by taking apart the Jeskai deck. I think we'll just build it from the ground up. Seems fine. Alright, so here we go. Title. Maybe I'll just put arena in there. Ixalan constructed is too long. So here's the first point of discussion. I've heard a few things about a Jund control deck. Heard things about an Abzan control deck. I don't know if I believe them. I don't know if I believe them. Let me just turn this down. Ugh, what a mess. All right, here we are. Right when I was getting to the good part, right? Leave the audience hanging. That's what they say. I don't think you can have a good control deck without playing Search for Azcanta. It is the best card advantage card selection engine in Ixalan. It's great. It's great. They played it in Modern. They played it in Vintage. Legacy. At least it's been tried there, I'm sure. And there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. Vance's blasting cannon. Not really close. Opt. Not that close. Chart a Course. Pirate's Prize. Not very close. Arguel's Bloodfast. Nothing draws you cards like a flipped Azcanta, man. Nothing. And then you get the card selection beforehand, before you even flip it. You get a free scry, basically. So I don't really believe in those control decks that are not playing blue. That's the point. Like if you're some kind of tempo control like Pirates, that's fine. Even though Pirates is blue anyway, but you don't even have to play Azcanta. Or you're not a control deck. But otherwise, there's no way to get card advantage. Like the best you could do is like settle a bunch of their creatures and like 3 for 1 of them or 4 for 1 of them, and that be your card advantage. But otherwise, I feel like it's who's drawing. Like, do you draw the right answers right away or do you not? And you lose. I don't know. I think the only way to ensure that a control deck is going to be good in this format is to play Search. And so that is where we will start. Pretty sure most of my control deck techs start with this card for the aforementioned reasons. And as I'll say in every stream I play this, play 4. You want one in your opening hand, or at least by turn 2. That's super ideal. Yo, bees! What up?
Yeah.
I bet you've been grinding. Bet you've been doing your thing. Holy moly. What is that noise for? Did you host me too? Yeah, right on. What's going on with you, man? More skin shifters? There's some good cards in Modern that go well with skin shifter. You finished? I played one game and got 6 packs and then was done. Anyway, I've been playing this Esper control deck, so that's what we're going to do tonight. Yeah, Sunwing and Beckett, I saw that. I don't know if you need to play 2 Becketts. Beckett's pretty good, though. You could probably squeeze 2. The problem is the 4-drop slot in Pirates is so full. You have Hostage Taker, you have Vraska's Contempt, you have Dreamcaller Siren, you have... and the Admiral. That's a lot of slots. It's a lot of 4-drops. Gotta make some cuts. Anyways, I'm just here talking about playing 4 of Search for Azcanta again. You've probably heard it all before. But I do like the fact that you can have one flipped and one unflipped. And you can choose to never flip the other one, so... Then you get card selection and card draw. I don't know, man. This card is just... it's the best if you're trying to play control. I don't understand control decks without this card. Alright, and let's talk about the reason we're white. Which kind of deck? Settle the Wreckage. I think this is why you play white. People always expect it at this point. But there's ways that you can force people into it anyway. Which is pretty great. And it deals with Carnage Tyrant. Which not many cards do. So, that's why I like blue-white in most of my control decks. Control with Search. Because Search, I think, is the best card for control. And Settle is one of the few cards that lets you deal with Carnage Tyrant. Which is the worst enemy of control. The other card that I want to give a shout out to, which is why I like to play a lot of Jeskai control, is Star of Extinction. Like that card a lot. Like that card a lot. Card's good. So I'm going to put 2 in this deck because that's what I'm running right now. But we'll talk about how I would change this deck if I had a few more cards that I liked. Alright, so while we're on white, we'll do the other biggie. I run 4 of these. I'm not sure if it is better than Vraska's Contempt. From a pure card advantage standpoint, it is. But lots of things can go wrong that make it not as good as Vraska's Contempt. I only have 1 Vraska's Contempt. And so that's why I'm running 4 bindings. Had I had more Vraska's Contempt, I might cut a binding or 2. Bindings are super great because you can keep a card in their hand. But your bindings can also be binded, which is the problem. Right now, I'm still pretty high on Ixalan's binding, so it gets a 4 of. Ripjaw Raptor eats it. Wild Growth Walker eats it. Deep Root Champion eats it. Like, the only thing it doesn't eat is Carnage Tyrant, basically. And it keeps your opponent from casting any more. So targets I really like lately for Ixalan's binding are Kitesail Freebooter if I'm playing Control, so that they don't one binding just to bind their binding. Yeah, no, that's how good it is. And if you see they're not playing white, then you don't have to worry about binding their binding, and then you can just throw it out for whatever. Like, that's a super important thing to think about when you're playing someone who's white, is will your binding get bound? But what was I saying? I can't even remember now. Oh, things I like to use Ixalan's binding on. Kitesail Freebooter if I'm running Control, because then they stop looking in your hand. It's super annoying for them to look in your hand and take your cards. I was playing this deck today and I ran into someone who played 3 Kite Booters in a row. He completely wrecked my hand and wrecked me. And that's why Pirates are my favorite. Yeah, he played 4 in a row. I played 3 in a row the other day, but he played 4 in a row. That's rough when your hand's all spells, I'll tell you what. And Charging Monstrosaur is the other one. Because that thing has haste, I really like to put Ixalan's binding on it and know that they can't cast another unless they remove my binding. It does put you in a sticky situation, though, if you're playing like a Naya Dino and you're worried that they have a binding, because then he just pops out of the binding with haste, which is annoying. But I think it's worth a shot, because that guy's super annoying. Merfolk, I don't have any specific targets for binding. For vampires, Adanto Vanguard, because it's really hard to kill that guy otherwise. And they're always playing 4 of them, because you should, because it's a great card. And then it's just so great against like control matchups and stuff. Because you can, it's any non-land permanent, so you can grab their Search for Azcanta, their Vance Blasting Cannons, their Thematic Compass. Though in this deck, you're not really worried about Thematic Compass. Primal Amulets, Legion's Landing, Conqueror's Galleon, Fell Flagship. You know, the usual suspects. I like it. I think it's really strong. And I think that's all we do with white, is the binding and the wreckage. So my question really is, you got to tell me, Bees, you are the skin master. I have like 2 and I've never run them, man. You've played them. Red, black, kite sail, skin shifter. Is it a thing? When are you doing your Merfolk guest deck tech too, Bees? We could do it tomorrow night. I'm not going to do Sideboard Saturday tomorrow, but there's a good chance I'll stream and try to build hype for Sideboard Saturday the week after. Anyway, right now let's just look at the list. Oh, this is not the only reason we play white. Here is the other reason we play white. The Butcher. I have 2. I run 2. Might be worth running 3. This is kind of your main win condition. It's a really cool win condition. That's what's fun about this deck. Vona is super cool win condition. Things that are good about Vona. She's a 4/4, which means she's bigger than Lightning Strike and she's bigger than Vanquish the Weak. Things that are bad. She is not a merfolk, so she dies to walk the plank. But I was running Huatli in my Jeskai control, and I kind of liked the way she could gain you some life. This guy's really good at that. And it's got Vigilance and Lifelink. So if you've been playing a dinosaur deck or something, and you've managed to trim them down to just like a Drover and an Odapek Huntsmaster because you've killed all their big stuff, Vona's great. You attack in, you gain 4 life every time. You rebuild your life total till you can pay 7 life, and then you can just pick off anything. And you can attack. It's got Vigilance, so you can attack first, gain 4 life, and then tap it and destroy something. It's pretty good, man. It's pretty good. Like, it's good enough that I think you could consider a black-white control deck, which would feature all these Ixalan's bindings and Settle the Wreckages and all the black cards we're going to talk about later. And just play like 3 Vonas as your win con. But it is weak to a few things. So I end up splashing Vraska in this deck, who's weaker to less things. Vraska's good, man. Vraska's good. Vraska is what has me thinking about a Sultai control deck and wondering if I can survive without Settle the Wreckage. I don't think I can. And that's why I like blue-white in most of my control decks. Even the threat of Settle the Wreckage, you know? They stop attacking with half their creatures. Anyway, Vona is a super fun win con and one of the highlights of playing this Esper control deck, if you ask me. All right, and then let's get on to why we play black. Besides Vona, Vraska's Contempt. This card's good. It's good against other planeswalkers, which it's pretty nice. Ixalan's Binding does a fine job with planeswalkers, really. Which is why I don't think you can run 4 and 4. So currently I'm going to show you I run 1 because I only have 1. But I would definitely be trying out 2 and cutting an Ixalan's Binding. Like normally only 1 or 2 Ixalan's Bindings are super important, like to catch their charging Monstersaur or Kitesail Freebooter. But after that, you're just looking to kill something or remove something from the board. And in that case, Vraska's Contempt is better because it's instant speed. It exiles, I guess, or they can't unbind it when you kill it. And you gain 2 life, which is sometimes the difference between a lightning strike and a win. And then we just play all the other removal, which is all pretty good in this format. Let's check the old notepad here. I'm going with 3 Vanquish and 3 Walk the Plank. I don't know about Walk the Plank, man. It's great until you face Merfolk. so cheap. So cheap. I don't know. With Search for Azcanta, you can mill it off if you're playing Merfolk, which is pretty good. But it's just a dead card. If I had more Vraska's Contempt, I might go to 4 Vanquish the Weak and down to, or maybe just go down to 2 Walk the Plank. But you play black for tons of removal. That's what it's in here for. And it's really good at what it does. Vanquish the Weak is super strong. It doesn't kill Ripjaw Raptor. Or any dinos bigger than that. But it does kill Rampaging Ferocidon. It does kill Deathgorge Scavenger. It does kill Ranging Raptors. Kills Drovers. Kills pretty much any pirate. Kills most red stuff. Doesn't kill Vona. That's why Vona's sweet. But it kills a lot. And it's instant speed. It costs 3, but it's the world we're living in, folks. Can't change that. Vraska's Contempt costs 4 and is double black. This card is pretty splashable. All right, I think that's all the black we got. Oh, well. We have WinCon number 2. Oh, man. This card. This card is the best Planeswalker for a control deck. I'd say hands down. Let me check Jace here really quick. I don't play with Jace, so whenever one or more creatures you control deal a loot for -2, you create a token. That's pretty bad. And then for -5, you create 2 tokens that are copies of Jace. So I think all the token creators are good. Like any of them can be a win con. But Jace is just so slow. Now the loot effect is pretty sweet. And he's cheap. I don't know. I'd love to try him out. And if you're playing blue-white control, well, this is pretty much your only Planeswalker option. So, of course, you'd play it. But Vraska is just a beast. +2 for a pirate. She starts at 6. +2 for a pirate goes to 8 and creates a blocker that has menace. -3, destroy artifact, creature, or enchantment. It's pretty much most things you want to destroy. The only thing is not there is a land. And of course they can't do that. So this is a great way if you're losing an Ixalan's Binding war. This is a way to get a comeback. Is you destroy their Ixalan's Binding. Then you get your Ixalan's Binding back. Ixalan's Binding something. And then you're off to the races. And the ultimate at -10, which only takes 2 activations to get to. I use it all the time. I have 1 2/2 Menace Pirate. They have some creature. Put their life total to 1 and swing. I keep thinking I'm going to regret it, and I'm going to ultimate her and she goes away, and then they're going to do something that saves them from dying, but they never do. They never do. So yeah, this card is good. And Search for Ixalan is good, so maybe the next thing I'll be trying is Sultai Control. And see if we really need to settle the wreckage. Problem is I'm still pretty short on Vraska's Contempt. Definitely need to run 4 of those in Sultai Control. Because you lose the binding and the wreckage. It'd be like 4, 4, 4 of Walk the Plank, Vanquish the Weak, and Vraska's Contempt. Because green's just got nothing. If you're playing green, you could play Carnage Tyrant as a win condition instead of Vona. All right, where are we at? Blue, let's go back. Well, is that all our removal? Those are our win cons. 2 Vonas, 2 Vraska, that's it. It's generally enough. Yep, so let's go to cancel. I play 3. It gives you the advantage over those non-blue control decks. It protects your Vona and your Vraska and your bindings. I think if you're playing blue for search, then you have to play cancel. Like, that's the problem with blue. Is search is so good, but nothing else they have is that great. Opt is pretty good, I guess. Like, it'd be sweet if you could just have blue mana for like turn 1 and turn 2, and then you just didn't use it anymore. But it doesn't work like that. So cancel goes in. It's very strong. You can't play Lookout's Dispersal in this deck. You have to play cancel. Spell Swindle's too expensive, and you don't really need the treasure. Cancel gets the job done. I like it. I don't think I would go down to 2. It has a lot of uses. I was playing a Revel in Riches deck. And Vraska killed their first Revel, and then I canceled their second Revel, and by that time they were dead. Alright, let's talk more about card draw, because we mentioned Opt. 1, 2, 3, 4. Easy peasy. If you're playing Search, you might as well be playing Opt. Kind of the best card draw we have. Chart, of course, is not the best card draw we have, but it's good enough. And sometimes when you're playing 4 searches, you actually have a card you want to discard. I talk pretty highly about 4 searches, but sometimes it's okay to discard it. Like if you already have 2 on the board. You can proc it off Vona and Vraska's Pirates. Doesn't happen often, but you can. And let me just double check how many of these I'm playing. 3. I ended up cutting Pirate's Prize. It was just too expensive. It needs to be instant speed. I would trade that treasure for an instant speed draw 4. I mean draw 2. Casting cost 4. So that's it for card draw. 4 search, 4 opt, 3 charts. What else are we missing here? Because I built this deck from my Jeskai deck, there were some Perilous Voyages in there. So there's still 1 in here. But you can probably cut it. Like, Walk the Plank is generally better. The Scry 2 is pretty nice. Against Merfolk, you know, it's better. All right, bees. Checking a bit. It's in there. It's a fun of. I'm sure it could go somewhere else. All right, last card. Last spell, I guess. Compass. 2. I think 2 is the right number in control. One seems not enough. 3 seems too much. I found in this deck I actually use the compass more to find land. Maybe because I'm basically 4 color. But in the Jeskai deck, it was mostly just something I wanted turn 7, turn 8 that I could just immediately flip. But this card is really good, and it's really good in combination with a lot of things. It's good in combination with Vanquish the Weak. It's good in combination with Cancel. And is good in combination with Settle the Wreckage. All cards that we're playing. So early in the game, you can hold up Cancel or Vanquish. And then if they don't do anything, you can draw a land. Or you can end up trying to scare them, bluff them at that point of those cards. Same if you have Settle. If you got 4 up, you can bluff Settle. Maybe they'll just attack with less. Maybe you don't have Settle to attack with less. You get a land. It's pretty cool the way it interacts with instant speed spells that cost 3 or more. Vraska's Contempt being another one. And then, of course, when it flips, it also works great with Settle the Wreckage. Because now they're trying to send in just 1 or 2 creatures because they're afraid to settle, and then you can start popping them back with the compass, which makes them commit at least 3 or 4 creatures, and then you're getting value out of your settle. So that's why I like 2, because when you get 2 going, they're pretty locked out. If they know you have settle, if they don't know you have settle, and you have both compasses, they're pretty locked out. They need to attack with obscene amount of numbers or have just super wide. A bunch of hexproof merfolk or lifelink and vamps maybe. And how many cards we got here? 34? I don't think I'm playing 26 lands, am I? I think I'm playing 25 lands. Oh, I'm up to 2 Perilous Voyage. Okay. I don't know about... I end up discarding this card a lot in this deck right now. But when you need it, it's nice. And the Scry is super nice to go in combination with your searches. You can dig pretty damn fast. And once again, Perilous Voyage is for any non-land permanent, which is a lot of things. Okay, land. Here's the big problem, folks. Land. I don't know what the best land combo is, and I don't know if there was a good one. We just try our best. I don't think we have Forsaken Sanctuary. That's from somewhere else. So is Evolving. Get out of here, Emissary Sunrise. We do like Field of Ruin. I'm thinking about playing 2. I'm just playing 1 now because I'm 4 color, but Field of Ruin is interesting because you can use it like an Evolving Wilds if you have to. And I've been doing that a lot lately, and it's been working out pretty well, which makes me kind of want to play 2. Like, if you know they're not playing any kind of lands you have to be worried about, legendary lands, then it's okay if you're missing a color to just crack this on one of their dual lands and go find the color you need. It's a totally fine way to play this card, and you shouldn't forget about it. All right, let's go see how many planes. Well, no, let's go get the Evolving Wilds. I think I might be down to 3 because I'm playing so many dual lands. I have to double check that. All right, let's check the list. 3 Drung Catacombs, 3 Forsaken Sanctuaries. That's good. 3 plains, 3 islands. Almost there, folks. Two swamps, 1 forest. This forest is purely for Vraska, folks. And I don't know if she's worth it if you have Jace. But boy, is she good. We're also running a few Sun Petal Groves. I think we're running 3 green sources. How are we doing on the count here? 26 lands. Yeah, 3 Evolving Wilds. I don't know. Maybe we should do 4. The mana base is by far the jankiest part of this deck. Though I still think most of the time I make out a turn 2 search if I have it. But it would be nice if we had a little bit better dual lands in Ixalan Constructed. That's the deck, folks. Let's go take a look at it in a few different views. Let me make sure we're at 60. Beautiful. $24 lands. I mean, you know, lands are the trickiest part, really. It's just rough. Lands are rough, folks. 4 color is rough. And I'm going to show you guys the 3 color version after this, or what I would imagine. We got cancels, ops, perilous voyage, settle the wreckages, vanquish the weak, Vraska's contempt. It's a decent amount of instants. Really liking vanquish the weak lately. Sorceries, chart the course, walk the plank. I don't feel great about this. I'm wondering if I can run a blue deck without chart the course and just use search and opt as enough card draw. Ixalan's Binding and Search. Win cons of Vraska. Compasses are pretty sweet in this meta. And more win conditions. Vona. Looks great. Looks great. So I will check out a hand here. I would say this is a keeper. Vraska early's pretty shitty. This is a turn 2 as Kanta, so that's a keep. I always seem to draw the freaking single forest in my opening hand. It's so frustrating. I mean, this hand's pretty damn good. You got turn 2 as Kanta. You can't really get turn 3 Vanquish the weak. You're 1 planes away from settle. That hand's really good. This hand is tough. Best you got is a turn 2 opt. I don't know. There's some rough draws, and a lot of it is based on these stupid lands like Sun Petal Grove. This could be a Plains. It doesn't need to be a Sun Petal Grove, except that we're playing Vraska. Okay. Let's go back to the deck, and we'll make it pure Esper. Rip. I don't know much about these other Jaces. Draw a card is good. Thing about Vraska is she gets you back. She can come in and exile something. No, none of the other planeswalkers can do that. Huatli can hit a few tiny things with her ultimate, but it's not great. But yeah, and Jason Sentinel is garbage. This isn't really a win con. I guess you can gain control of 3 target creatures. I guess the ultimate's a win con. So maybe. But I don't know anything about that card. So I would just replace 2 Vraskas with 2 Jaces. This is a super slow win con compared to Huatli or Vraska. But it's a win con, and it keeps you from playing green. Then you could cut the Sun Petal Groves, go up to 4 Evolving Wilds, cut the Forest, maybe play 2 Field of Ruins. Mana would be so much better. Nothing in the rest of the deck changes. But if we were going to change things in this deck to ideal, I would play 3 Settles. Right now, I think I'm at the point where I do 2 Vraskas and 3 Bindings. I don't think we really want to clog up our 4-drop spots any more than that. If I had the extra Vraskas, I think I'd cut a Plank and maybe throw in another Vanquish, because I've been really impressed with Vanquish lately. I think we could cut these Perilous Voyage too and put in... Well, maybe we could put Walk the Plank back in, or we could put another chart. It's at 59. Oh, I took out a bunch of lands. I'm just going to throw planes in here so we can see our count. So that's where we'd be for full Esper. It's pretty sweet. I mean, the drop in power level from Vraska to Jace is tremendous. But a friend of mine said he was playing Jace as his win con and was doing all right. I like having win cons. Like, we're playing 3 cancel, which is a lot more than some control decks are playing. If you're not playing cancels and you have 1 or 2 win cons, what do you do? Like if the other person has Vraska's Contempt and your win condition is 2 Planeswalkers, you're dead. So I don't know. That's why I like having the cancels. So I can protect my win cons a bit. Vona needs a lot of protection as compared to a Planeswalker. But I like this deck. It's pretty strong. And I think in full 3 color with the mana base straightened out, I think you'd be in a pretty good spot. Not sure what other cards I'd really consider playing in here. Some people still like Run Aground. I don't think I want to add any 4-drops. This deck seems nice. I'd love to try it out. You could maybe go up to 3 Vonas. Vona's pretty strong. Alright, I think that's about gonna do it for the deck tech for the night. I hope you enjoyed it. Esper Control. Here it is. I should fix the lands, huh? Alright, let's fix the lands. So we have a final snapshot on the way out. What's our color distribution? 10, 8, a bunch, 17. Three swamps, 3 plains, 3 islands. Seems pretty good. Maybe you could even cut the Forsaken Sanctuaries, but I don't think so. I'd run it like this. It's a good deck. Vona's fun. Right now I think Jeskai is a little more fun because of Star of Extinction and possibly Sunbird's Invocation. But you can do some really good stuff with Vona. She can do a lot of good stuff for you. She can pull you out of pits you never thought you would be in. And then just completely tear them apart. I mean, there's not many cards that say destroy target non-land permanent. There's a lot of things in this game that are non-land permanents, and being able to destroy any of them, it's pretty nice. Alright guys, thanks for coming to the temple tonight. I hope you enjoyed Esper Deck Tech. I will see you guys another time. Peace.